Tonight we have two airplane disaster tales: Flight of the Lost Souls, Island of Souls, original untold stories by William A. L. and read by Maxwell A. I. Flight of the Lost Souls. The airport buzzed with the usual chaos as passengers hurriedly made their way to their gates. Among them was Emma, a young woman with a keen interest in the supernatural. Her excitement about the upcoming journey dimmed as she stepped onto the plane and felt an inexplicable chill. Little did she know that this flight would be unlike any other. As the plane soared through the night sky, a sense of unease settled over the cabin. Whispers echoed through the air, and shadows danced in the corners of the passengers' peripheral vision. Emma, seated by the window, couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. The discomfort escalated when the lights flickered, and a cold wind swept through the plane. An elderly woman seated across the aisle clutched her chest, panic in her eyes. Emma, compelled by an otherworldly intuition, felt an invisible force at play. Ignoring the skeptical glances of fellow passengers, Emma closed her eyes and focused. Murmurs from the spirit realm became clearer, and she realized that the plane was carrying more than just living passengers. Souls trapped between worlds lingered, unable to move on. Emma hesitated but finally stood, making her way down the narrow aisle. As she moved toward the back of the plane, the oppressive atmosphere intensified. The air grew thick with the sorrow of lost souls, and a distant wailing filled the cabin. In the last row, Emma encountered a spectral presence. A shadowy figure, once a flight attendant, stood with vacant eyes. The spirit communicated through emotions rather than words, conveying a deep yearning for release. With trepidation, Emma focused on the plane's history. She learned that it had carried these souls from a foreign land, where a tragic incident had bound them to this vessel. The spirits, lost and confused, sought a way to continue their journey to the afterlife. Driven by empathy, Emma began guiding the lost souls toward the light. However, the process was far from simple. The plane itself seemed to resist, turbulence intensifying as the spirits fought to break free from their spectral chains. As Emma persisted, passengers became aware of the unfolding supernatural drama. Fear spread like wildfire, and the once calm cabin turned chaotic. The flight crew struggled to maintain order as unseen forces rattled the plane. In the midst of the chaos, Emma found an unexpected ally. An elderly man, seated near the back, revealed himself as a medium. Together, they intensified their efforts to communicate with the trapped spirits and guide them toward the light. Gradually, the atmosphere aboard the plane shifted. The cold wind subsided, and the flickering lights steadied. Passengers, initially paralyzed by fear, witnessed the ethereal spectacle unfolding before them. The lost souls, one by one, crossed over into the afterlife, their expressions transitioning from despair to peace. As the last spirit dissipated into the light, the plane steadied, and an eerie calm settled over the cabin. Emma and the elderly medium returned to their seats, exhausted but fulfilled. The other passengers, though bewildered, felt a newfound sense of tranquility. Upon landing, whispers of the supernatural event spread like wildfire. The airline, eager to dispel any rumors, dismissed the incident as a technical glitch. Yet, Emma knew the truth. She had played a crucial role in freeing trapped souls and allowing them to find peace. As the passengers disembarked, Emma glanced back at the now seemingly ordinary plane. She couldn't help but wonder how many other vessels carried silent passengers, lost between worlds. The thin veil between the living and the dead had briefly lifted, leaving an indelible mark on the passengers who had unknowingly shared their journey with the spirits of the past. Part 2. Days after the eerie flight, Emma found herself haunted by the memories of the spectral encounter. Sleep eluded her, and she couldn't shake the feeling that the other side was still reaching out to her. Determined to understand the connection, she delved into research on the plane's history, hoping to uncover the roots of the spirit's anguish. Her investigation led her to a forgotten tragedy in a remote village during the plane's previous stopover. A series of mysterious deaths had occurred, leaving a community in mourning. Emma realized that the spirits on the plane were not just random lost souls but the victims of a long-forgotten injustice. Driven by a newfound purpose, Emma reached out to the elderly medium from the flight. Together, they decided to revisit the village and seek closure for the spirits that had clung to the plane. The journey took them to a desolate place, where the air was heavy with the weight of sorrow. As they explored the village, they discovered a forgotten mass grave hidden on the outskirts. The spirits, still bound by the pain of their untimely deaths, gathered around. Emma and the medium, using their unique gifts, communicated with the lingering souls, unraveling the tale of betrayal and revenge that had led to their demise. With the truth exposed, the spirit's anguish began to transform into acceptance. Emma and the medium performed a ritual to release the trapped souls, allowing them to finally move on. As each spirit faded away, a sense of peace settled over the village, and nature seemed to reclaim the solemn ground. Back home, Emma struggled to return to her normal life. The connection she had forged with the supernatural lingered, and her abilities evolved. She found herself drawn to places with unresolved spiritual energy, compelled to help lost souls find closure. The elderly medium, too, became a steadfast companion in this newfound calling. Word of Emma's unique talents spread, attracting those seeking solace for their departed loved ones. Soon, she found herself at the center of a small community dedicated to bridging the gap between the living and the dead. Together with the medium and others who shared her gifts, they formed an unconventional support network for both the living and the spirits caught in limbo. As the seasons changed, so did the nature of Emma's encounters. Some spirits sought closure for past grievances, while others simply yearned for a connection to the world they had left behind. Emma's ability to communicate with the other side became a beacon of hope for those trapped between realms. The airline, unaware of the continued supernatural occurrences surrounding the haunted flight, continued its operations as usual. The plane, seemingly ordinary to the unknowing eye, carried passengers to their destinations without a hint of the lingering spirits that had once disrupted its journey. Emma's journey, however, had just begun. The thin veil between the living and the dead remained permeable, and she embraced her role as a mediator between worlds. Each encounter with the supernatural brought new challenges and revelations, solidifying her place in the delicate balance between the seen and the unseen. And so, as Emma continued her unconventional path, the whispers of the spirits became a guiding force, leading her to places where the past cried out for resolution and where lost souls desperately sought a way to find peace in the afterlife. Island of Souls. The flight started like any other, routine and mundane, but fate had other plans for the 65 passengers and 6 flight crew aboard. Midway through the journey, a series of catastrophic events unfolded, leaving the aircraft no choice but to make a daring water landing near a deserted island. Miraculously, all on board survived, finding themselves on a mysterious stretch of land surrounded by an endless expanse of ocean. As the survivors gathered on the shore, a feeling of unease settled over the group. The island, though seemingly untouched by time, exuded an eerie energy that sent shivers down their spines. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the landscape, and the temperature dropped as if the island itself absorbed the warmth. Among the survivors was Emma, a woman with a unique gift that set her apart from the rest. She could sense the spiritual realm and communicate with the souls trapped between worlds. Unbeknownst to the others, this ability would become their only hope for escaping the island's haunted grip. As night fell, the island came alive with spectral whispers and flickering shadows. The restless souls, each with a tale of unfinished business and untimely demise, wandered the shoreline and haunted the dense jungle that stretched beyond. The survivors huddled together, sharing uneasy glances as the disembodied voices echoed through the night. Emma, feeling a deep responsibility, stepped forward. Her connection with the spirit world became palpable as she closed her eyes, focusing on the ethereal presence around her. The spirits, initially agitated and confused, responded to her calming energy. Through whispered conversations with the departed, Emma began to unravel the tragic stories that bound these souls to the island. One by one, she guided the spirits towards closure, helping them find peace and release from their earthly tethers. The survivors watched in awe as the once tormented souls embraced a serene light and ascended to the afterlife. The haunted atmosphere lifted, and a newfound tranquility settled over the island. As the last spirit disappeared into the light, a collective sigh of relief echoed among the survivors. The once haunted island now felt like a place of solace, and gratitude filled the air. Emma, exhausted but fulfilled, shared a solemn nod with the others. Little did they know that their journey had just begun. With the haunting lifted, the survivors turned their attention to survival on the island. They banded together, using their collective skills to forage for food, build shelter, and signal for rescue. Days turned into weeks, and a sense of camaraderie replaced the initial fear that had gripped them. Yet, as they explored the island's depths, remnants of its haunted past lingered. Strange markings on trees, mysterious symbols etched into rocks, the survivors couldn't escape the feeling that the island held secrets not easily forgotten. One day, as Emma wandered through the jungle, she discovered an ancient burial ground hidden deep within the foliage. The gravestones bore names that matched those of the spirits she had helped find peace. A chilling realization dawned upon her. The island had been a final resting place for souls lost in time, their stories eternally imprinted on its very fabric. As the survivors continued to adapt to island life, Emma couldn't shake the feeling that the island itself was a bridge between the living and the dead. The souls, now at peace, had left their mark on the island, a testament to the connection forged during those fateful nights. As the survivors adjusted to their new life on the island, the haunted past seemed to leave an indelible mark. Though the spirits had found peace, a lingering sense of unease permeated the dense foliage and echoed in the rustle of leaves. The survivors, their numbers reduced by the challenges of island life, became a tight-knit community, bound not just by the struggle for survival but by the shared experience of the supernatural. Part 2. Days turned into months, and the survivors became adept at navigating the island's mysteries. They discovered hidden caves filled with ancient artifacts and stumbled upon remnants of a forgotten civilization. Emma, driven by her insatiable curiosity, delved into the island's history, uncovering tales of curses, lost explorers, and a dark legacy that stretched back centuries. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the beach, Emma gathered the survivors around a makeshift campfire. The flickering flames danced in rhythm with the stories she shared, tales of the island's cursed origins, of explorers who had vanished without a trace, and of the restless souls who had once haunted its shores. As the survivors listened, a collective realization dawned upon them. The island itself was a nexus, a convergence of spiritual energy that transcended the boundaries of life and death. Emma, with her unique connection to the supernatural, became the key to unlocking the island's mysteries. Guided by the stories she had uncovered, Emma led the survivors on a journey through the heart of the island. They encountered ancient ruins, hidden chambers, and artifacts that seemed to pulse with a mysterious energy. The island, it appeared, held secrets not just of the departed souls but of a power that transcended the natural order. As they ventured deeper, the survivors began to experience strange phenomena. Whispers in the wind, flickering shadows that defied explanation, and apparitions that materialized for brief moments before dissolving into the tropical air. The island itself seemed to react to their presence, as if the spirits of the past were trying to convey a message. Emma, undeterred by the increasing supernatural occurrences, focused on honing her abilities. She discovered that the spirits, having found peace, now sought to guide the living. Through her interactions with the departed, she learned of a ritual, a way to appease the ancient forces that bound the island in a perpetual state of unrest. The survivors, initially skeptical, soon witnessed the island's power firsthand. The air crackled with energy as Emma led a ceremony, invoking the spirits of the past. The very ground beneath them seemed to pulse with life, responding to the call of the supernatural. As the ritual unfolded, the island's haunted atmosphere reached a crescendo. The survivors, standing at the nexus of the spiritual convergence, felt the boundary between worlds blur. Shadows danced, and the air filled with a palpable energy. And then, as quickly as it had begun, the intensity subsided. The island, once a place of supernatural turmoil, transformed before their eyes. The dense jungle, once a labyrinth of mystery, now exuded a serene calm. The survivors, their connection to the spirits now a guiding force, felt a newfound harmony with the land. Rescue eventually arrived, and the survivors left the island behind. As they boarded the vessel that would take them back to civilization, they cast one last glance at the place that had been both their prison and their sanctuary. The island, now free from the haunting that had plagued it for centuries, seemed to breathe a sigh of relief. Emma, forever changed by her experiences, carried with her the knowledge that the thin veil between the realms could be both a source of terror and a bridge to understanding. The survivors, bound by the shared journey through the supernatural, returned to their lives with a newfound appreciation for the mysteries that lurk beyond the visible world. And so, as the ship disappeared over the horizon, the island remained a testament to the fragile balance between the living and the dead. A place where souls found redemption and the boundary between the natural and the supernatural blurred into the whispers of the wind and the secrets of the ancient land. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Please stay tuned for new episodes of White Star Horror Stories, presented Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays at 7 p.m.